ECG lead 2 has A. Positive pole at left leg and negative pole at right arm. B. Positive pole at right leg and negative pole at left arm. C. Positive pole at left arm and negative pole at right arm. D. Negative pole at right leg and positive pole at left arm. Correct answer A. Positive pole at left leg and negative pole at right arm. Right leg electrode is a ground electrode and does not come in the configuration of any of the ECG leads. It is usually colored black to indicate this. Option C is the configuration of lead 1. Lead 3 has negative pole on left arm and positive pole on left leg. Choose the correct option for the ECG. A. Right bundle branch block. B. Right bundle branch block with left anterior hemi block. C. Right bundle branch block with left posterior hemi block. D. Left bundle branch block. Correct answer C. Right bundle branch block with left posterior hemi block. ECG shows sinus rhythm with heart rate around 83 per minute. QRS width is around 160 milliseconds. RS pattern in lead 1 and QS pattern in AVL would mean right axis deviation in this case due to right posterior hemi block. Notch star in V1 and RS R prime S prime in V2 with slurred S in lead 1, V5, V6 suggests right bundle branch block. Together, these will constitute a bifascicular block. PR interval is 200 milliseconds, the upper limit of normal. P wave is wide in leads 2 and 3, suggesting left atrial overload. But the negative component of P wave in V1 is not very prominent. If PR interval prolongs further, it will become trifascicular block, which is quite near a complete heart block. Wilson's central terminal is found by A. Placing an electrode exactly at the center of manubrium sternum. B. Connecting right arm, left arm and left leg electrodes together through a 500 ohms resistor. C. Connecting left arm, left leg and right leg electrodes together through a 1000 ohms resistor. D. Placing an electrode at the location of the apex beat. Correct answer B. Connecting right arm, left arm and left leg electrodes through a 5000 ohms resistor. Wilson's central terminal serves as the negative pole for all chest leads V1 to V6. It is considered as a theoretical zero reference potential. Most commonly monitored ECG lead in cardiac monitors: A. Lead 1, B. Lead 2, C. Lead 3, D. Lead V4. Correct answer B. Lead 2. Lead 2 is used for continuous monitoring because it gives a good P wave and a reasonable QRS complex for fair delineation of rhythm abnormalities. If ST segment monitoring in acute coronary syndrome is the aim of monitoring, V5 may be a better lead as ST shifts are often well seen in chest leads. In inferior leads, the amplitude of ST shifts are generally lower. It is always a good practice to look at the baseline ECG to choose which lead to monitor in each person. If lead 2 is almost equiphasic in the given person, monitoring lead 2 may give a lot of false asystole alarms and cause alarm fatigue for the staff so that they may not attend a true alarm later. Einthoven's law or Einthoven's equation for ECG leads is regarding potentials in standard ECG limb leads 1, 2 and 3 and can be stated as A. 1 plus 2 is equal to 3, B. 1 plus 3 is equal to 2, C. 3 minus 1 is equal to 2, D. 2 minus 1 is equal to 3. Correct answer B. 1 plus 3 is equal to 2. This means that the orientation of standard limb leads is in such a way that the sum of potentials of lead 1 and 3 equals that in lead 2. Einthoven's triangle is formed by these leads as sides and theoretically has the heart at its electrical center, though it may seem too much of a simplification if you go into exact principles of physics. Standard recording speed of an electrocardiographic paper is A. 10 mm per second, B. 25 mm per second, C. 50 mm per second, D. 100 mm per second. Correct answer B. 25 mm per second. With standard recording speed, 1 mm on the horizontal axis of the ECG graph will represent 40 milliseconds. Standardization for recording voltage is 10 mm to 1 millivolt. Hence, 1 mm on the vertical axis of the ECG graph will represent 0.1 millivolt or 100 microvolts. In fast rhythms, sometimes we may resort to higher speeds like 50 mm per second. It may be noted that intracardiac electrograms during electrophysiology study is much higher at 100 to 200 mm per second. It is essential to recognize subtle differences in the intracardiac activation patterns to decipher the origin and mechanism of heart rhythm disorders. This echocardiogram was taken in parasternal long axis view. What is the diagnosis? A. Aortic stenosis, B. Mitral stenosis, C. Pulmonary stenosis, D. Tricuspid stenosis. Correct answer B. Mitral stenosis. AML anterior mitral leaflet, PML posterior mitral leaflet, LA left atrium, RV right ventricle. This diastolic frame shows the mitral valve opening into the left ventricle. But commissural fusion and mitral stenosis prevents proper opening, and mitral orifice between the two leaflets is small. Usually they are wide open in diastole. There is doming of the anterior mitral leaflet with a hockey stick appearance. Posterior leaflet, instead of opening posteriorly, is showing a paradoxical anterior movement along with the anterior leaflet due to commissural fusion. This chest X-ray PA view is suggestive of A. Right atrial enlargement, B. Biatrial enlargement, C. Biatrial enlargement with pulmonary venous hypertension, D. Submitral aneurysm. Correct answer C. Biatrial enlargement with pulmonary venous hypertension. ULV, prominent upper lobe vessels, suggestive of pulmonary venous hypertension. Eponyms for this finding include Andler sign, inverted mustache sign, redistribution, and cephalization. Normally, lower zone vessels are more prominent than upper zone vessels due to the effect of gravity. LB, left bronchus, which is elevated due to left atrial enlargement. LAA, prominent left atrial appendage, also known as third Mughal sign. First Mughal being aortic knuckle and second Mughal pulmonary artery segment. AO, descending aortic contour seen to the left of the spine within the cardiac shadow. RB, right bronchus. Please note that it is more vertical than the left, which is almost horizontal. LA, left atrial border seen as a semilunar shadow within the right atrial contour. Shadow within shadow, double atrial contour, indicating left atrial enlargement. RA, right atrial border noted well away from the spine, indicating significant right atrial enlargement. Together, these findings are likely to occur in severe mitral stenosis with pulmonary venous and arterial hypertension. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel for future updates and click on the bell icon for all updates. Thank you.